Hello guys, this is going to be a short, almost impromptu video. As I'm sure that most of you are aware, Ukraine has been invaded by Russia, and some cities in the Ukraine are now all-out war zones. Now I really don't know enough about the politics behind this war or invasion to speak to the reasons why or to speculate to an outcome. But one thing I do know is that whenever there is a war, the civilian population always suffers. And even if this was to be resolved tomorrow, the people in Ukraine will have a long and hard road ahead of them back to recovery. Now, many help organizations have set up donation drives for this. I picked a drive from UNHCR that's going towards supplying the people with food packages, and I sent some money their way. I did see similar drives from other organizations like the World Food Programme, so these organizations are out there if you have money to spare. I will put a link to the one I used in the description below. And it's kind of in the light of this that I made this patch or coaster that you see in front of me here. And I actually repurposed the pattern for the heart square that I made for Valentine's Day. The big difference between that one and this one is the backside. So that's what I'm going to be showing you here today. To make the white front piece, you can check out the tutorial that's in the Valentine's Day heart crochet video. I will put a link to that in the description below as well. We are going to be needing 3 colors of yarn for this project. First, we're going to be needing some white for the front piece, and some yellow and blue for the back side, or the flag part. And as always, when I make something that is going to be stitched together, it's kind of important to have yarns of roughly the same thickness. Otherwise the pieces won't fit correctly or it will warp and twist in the end. We're also going to be needing a crochet hook, and I'm using this 3.5mm, a pair of scissors to cut stuff, and some kind of needle or yarn needle to attach the ends. And once we have everything, we can get started. So I take out the yellow yarn, and I'm going to start off with a slip knot. And then we are going to chain 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's our first row, 24 chains. Now for row 2, we are going to chain 2 more. 1, 2, and then we're going to make a double crochet here in the 3rd chain from the hook. So that's our first double crochet, and then we are going to continue with double crochet all the way along the chains for a row total of 24. So I just go through and make a double crochet in every chain all the way to the end. So there we go. Now we're at the end here, and we're just going to make a quick count, and I don't count the chains out here as a stitch, I just count real stitches. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and the 24th and last one here in the last chain. So there we go, that was row 2. Now for row 3, it's going to be super similar. We're going to chain 2, we're going to turn, and we're going to start double crocheting back again, still for a row total of 24 stitches. And as you can see, I don't count the chains in this project. I'm not going to count the chains as a stitch. They're just going to be there as the start. And it's also, since this edge here, we're going to single crochet around this to make a border, so this lumpiness here is not going to be shown anyway. So we continue like this, double crochet, 1 in each stitch, all the way down the row for a row total of 24. And that's actually not more than that to this. This is row 3, and as you can see, it's 2 chains and then 24 double crochet. That's going to be the exact same thing for row 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I think I'm just going to do this off camera. But stop, so we go all the way up to row 8, but stop like 1 stitch from the end on row 8, because we're going to change color, and I will show you how to do that. So pause this video now and play it again once you're up at 1 stitch from the end on row 8. So here we are now at the end of row 8, and remember I said to stop on the next to last stitch, and that's here. Because on the last stitch here, we're going to change color. So we yarn over, like we're making a double crochet. We go through the last stitch, we pick up yarn, and these first 2, we yarn over and pull through. So now we once again have 2 loops on the hook. And now we introduce the blue. We just take out the blue, we leave like a few inches, and then we pull through the last 2 loops with the blue. And then we chain 2. And now we're ready to start the row. So for row 9, it's going to be the exact same thing except with blue. And I'm not actually attaching these 2 yet, I'm just letting them hang out here, and I will deal with them in the end. So I just start making single crochet here. Double crochet here. And we're going to make double crochet again all the way to the end for a row total of 24 still. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing. Row 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way up to 14 is going to be the exact same thing. So once again, I'm going to do this off camera, but same thing, 1 row consists of 2 chains and then 24 double crochet. So keep on moving up until row 14, and I will see you here at the end of row 14. So now we're up here at row 14, and the only thing that's left is to chain 1, and then we can pull this through. So first we cut this, and then we go ahead and pull this through. And we don't need to leave much of a tail up here, because I'm not going to use these for anything else other than working them in. And we can go ahead, if you haven't already, we can cut the yellow as well. Now we take out our needle, because we're gonna fasten everything off here. And if we look at the piece like this, and the start tail and end tail is to the left like this, now you're looking at the back side. So it's this side that's going to be inside, and the heart is going to be on this side. So we're going to start with an easy one. We take this, start tail up here, or the end tail, sorry. And then we are just going to work this in by stitching back and forth between the stitches like this. And we don't pull this too tight, because we don't want this to kind of warp up out here. We just want to do it semi-loosely to keep it out of the way and secure. So once we are a few stitches in, since we know this is the inside, the top row here is not really going to show on this side. So, because it's going to be behind the white. So we can transfer this to this side. We go through one of the chains. Like so. And then we can just slip it under some stitches here. This is kind of overkill, as usual, when I do something. And then we pull it out to make sure the corner is not warped. Like so. Yeah, that kind of works. And then we cut this off. And I cut this flush. We transfer to down here. We do the same thing. This is going to be the inside. At first I go through just to pull the corner in here. And then we go through back and forth in the chain. And then we transfer it to the inside. Which is this. And I work it up like a row. And then I go through the stitches here. And when I get to here, I cut it flush. Now it's just these two left. And there's kind of a trick to this. You see, I start with the blue here. We kind of have, it looks different here. Like these are nice. And this is all poking through. We can hide that by, with the blue, we go through up to here. See, it kind of creates a fake stitch here in the end. Or a fake loop. And we can do the same thing on the other side. We go down again here with the blue. And all of a sudden, it's all invisible. Once we've done that, we can just go ahead and work it in. Let's work it up here. We go aim towards this row. And this is the inside. So go in there, and then we go through some of the stitches here. Not that many is necessary. Like so. We pull it in. And we cut it off flush. That was surprisingly hard. There we go. See, now it's almost completely invisible. So now we tighten this yellow. And we thread the needle. And we're gonna go here in between. And this one is more of a case of locking it than keeping it in place. Sorry, it's more that we want to lock it rather than hiding something, because we hid it with the blue. So once that's done, we can just go, let's see, that's the outside. We can go through here and go over to the inside again. And once I feel it's like not coming loose, I just go ahead and work it here in the yellow stitches on the inside. Not for too many, but like a few. Like so. Make sure it's not poking through too bad. And I pull it in. And cut it off flush. And then I pull this corner out again, or this side out. So that's all the stitches attached. Now we are going to make the white frame around this. So we take out the same white yarn that we used for the front side. And if we look at it like this is going to be the outside, and this is going to be the inside. So I take the outside, and we're going to start here in the top row where the stitches look like this, so not here in like the notches, but here on this side. I'm going to count, because we're going to start here mid-piece somewhere, and we're going to go single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain all the way around. So we need to count out the corner is going to be a single crochet, because it has to be, because we're going to make more in there. I'll get to that. So we count from here, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet. So somewhere here in the middle we start, and I go through from this side, pick up yarn, make a slip stitch, and then I chain one. That is going to act as our first single crochet. Now we are going to make a chain and skip this stitch. So I chain one more, and then I go through not this one, but the next one. And I make a single crochet. And we make it like this to get kind of like elasticity in the edge, especially this edge. Because if we make like one single crochet, or skipping like one and make single crochet in each other, in every other, then it's gonna want to pull together. And if we make one single crochet in each, then it's gonna kind of like flare out here. So I find this is a good method for this. So once we have those, we make one more chain, and then we go through the next. We skip one and go through the next one, make a single crochet, make another chain, skip, make a single crochet, we chain, we skip, and we make a single crochet here in the corner stitch. Like so. And to bend around the corner, there are a few different ways. You can, like, now we have one single crochet. We could do chain and then another single crochet, but I think it almost looks best if we just make 3 single crochets here in the corner. So you can think about it like this. It's one for this side, one for the corner, and then one from this side. So it's 1, 2, 3. So that's our second, and then we make a third one here. So now we have 3, and that's also our first stitch along this edge. We continue in the same manner. We make a single crochet, a chain, and then we go through. You see the notches here between the chain rows. Between the double crochet rows. That's where we go through, and we make a single crochet. Then we chain one. We find the next notches, and we make a single crochet. We chain one. We find the next notches, and we make a single crochet. And it's in that manner we are going to continue down this piece. So what I'll do is I'll just do this off camera, and I will meet you down here in this corner, and I will show you the corner. There we go. So now we're down here at this corner. So same thing applies. We chain one, but this is the chain row. And this can be kind of tricky because we are only going to go through, you see here, the chain. So we go ahead and make our first single crochet, and then we make a second one in the same stitch to bend around the corner, and then the third one to start on this row. There we go. That is our corner. Same thing applies down here. We chain one, and we skip the next chain, and we go through the next one after that. And this can be tricky in this corner since we just work the yarn in here. But it's manageable if you have some patience. So now we're here. We are going to skip. Now it's hard to see the... Skip that and go into this one. We chain again, and we skip that and go into this. Chain again. We skip and go into this. chain, skip, go into this. That was tricky. There we go. We chain one, we skip and go into the next. The reason I'm showing you this is that I'm getting to a thing here in the corner. So I'm just gonna keep on doing this, same thing. Chain one, skip, single crochet all the way to the corner. Because the thing is with this, since this is 24 wide, it's not gonna add up in the end because we're gonna be left with chains. So I'm gonna show you a trick here. You see here, now we're at the end and we actually ended up with a single crochet here, and this is our real last stitch, and we are at the chain here and there's nothing left. So what we do is we actually go through the first chain down here. It's a bit cheating, but I mean, it works now, it looks good, and no one's gonna tell. Or be able to tell. So that's now gonna act as our corner stitch. So you see I made a second single crochet and now I make a third single crochet. So that's how you deal with a corner if you end up without stitches in the end. So same thing applies on this side as on this side. Now we're at the like this edge, this end of the double crochets. So I chain one and we go through, and on this side, yeah, that's the same here actually. We go just in between the rows of each chain of each double crochet row, aiming for the notches. So it's same thing here. Chain one, I'm gonna make single crochet in between the rows. Chain one, single crochet in between the rows. And once you get to the corner, you apply the same method. You make 3 single crochet in the corner stitch, and then we'll meet you here at the end, and I will show you how to end this. Oh, and one last thing, I forgot to mention that, and I realized when I got to this corner, this row is also going to be one short. So when we get to this corner, we're actually going through the chain, the top chain up here, and not the first real stitch. And that's where we're going to make the 1, and then 2, and then 3 single crochet. So that's our corner stitch. And then we continue chain, we skip the first real one, and we go into the second. And it's in that manner we are going to work this row to the end. So chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, single crochet, chain, and so on and so on. And before you know it, we are going to be at the end here. There we go, and now we have 1 stitch gap here, just as we're supposed to. So we chain 1, and now we are going to go through. See, let's pull this down a bit. That's the slip stitch. No, this is the stitch. So this is the chain. We are going to go through that if we can find our way here. There we go. We're going to pull this closed. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see that. We are going to pull this closed and then go through for a slip stitch. And that's the closing. So we're just going to leave it like that and cut the yarn. And we're going to pull through. And we look, now this is the outside and this is the inside. So we take out the needle. And we are going to transfer this to the back. And we just go through a stitch here. And then to lock this, we go back and forth once or twice or thrice, is that a word? Here in the stitches. Then we double back to lock. And once we feel confident, we can just go here and transfer it to the back one last time. And then we just work this. Where could we work this? Yeah, anywhere really. We can just go through here for some stitches. We cut it off and we pull it in. And then we need to fasten the last thread here. Because then when you have the front piece ready, you can use a longer tail from that one to just stitch them together. And that's a really simple process. You just hold the pieces. Like this is the jagged part here is going to be the inside. So you just hold the pieces. Like if this is the outside, you hold them and then you pair them up stitch by stitch by stitch and just go through back and forth with the needle all the way around. And that's the whole process. If you want to see exactly how I made it, you can look in part 2 of the Valentine's Day heart crochet tutorial that I released a few weeks ago, and you can see exactly there in the end of part 2 how I stitched them together. And we do the same thing with this one. I'm going to go back and forth a few times. We go back to interlock it, kind of. And then I go through a few chains here. Oh, sorry, a few stitches here. Same as I did with the other thread. And once I'm happy, I cut it off. So there we have it. That's the back piece. For this one, like I mentioned, if you want to see exactly the process of stitching them together and making the front piece, for the front piece, watch video part 1 of the tutorial where I make the crochet Valentine's Day heart patch or square. And for the frame and how to stitch them together, watch part 2. And how to make this, yeah, you just saw it in this video. So that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have the chance, send some money Ukraine's way. I'm pretty sure they need it. I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.